I'm Seb Smee.
And I'm Dylan Abbott.
And it's time we had a real talk about Paddington in Peru. Paddington in Peru is the third installment in the beloved Paddington film series. The story follows Paddington Bear as he travels to Peru with the Brown family to visit his Aunt Lucy at the home for retired bears. Upon arrival, they discover that Aunt Lucy has gone missing in the jungle, leaving behind only her glasses and bracelet. Guided by a map found in Aunt Lucy's cabin, Paddington and the Browns embark on a thrilling adventure through the Amazon rainforest and the mountain peaks of Peru to find her. Along the way, they encounter new friends, including a dashing riverboat captain named Hunter Cabot and his daughter Gina, who join them on their quest. The journey leads them to the mythical city of El Dorado, where they uncover secrets about Paddington's origins and the true purpose of Aunt Lucy's disappearance. Directed by Dougal Wilson, Paddington in Peru combines heartwarming moments with exciting adventures, staying true to the charm and humour that have made the series a family favourite.
The film features returning cast members such as Ben Whishaw as the voice of Paddington, Hugh Bonneville as Mr. Brown, and Julie Walters as Mrs. Bird. New additions to the cast include Antonio Banderas as Hunter Cabot and Olivia Colman as the head nun of the Bear Retirement Home. Paddington in Peru is available to watch in Australian cinemas now.
What a film. Did I say the exact same thing about Nosferatu? I think
probably, so. But it's what a film. It's warranted. I went into Paddington Peru because Seb and I were originally, I think what we were going to do is we were originally only going to watch Nosferatu on the day. And then we had extra time, so we went off and we watched Paddington in Peru as well. And I love the Paddington movies, but I wasn't expecting much from Paddington in Peru. I thought it was just going to be like another fun little quirky movie, which it was. It's a Paddington movie. But I think it was a whole lot more as well. And I left the cinema surprisingly happy with how the film, went.
Yeah. Look, to put it, I suppose we didn't do a rating of Nosferatu.
Oh, well, we raved about it.
Yeah. I said that it's 5-star. I said that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, look, to be quite honest, it's just really good. Like, seriously, jumping straight into it, the movie finished, and Dylan turned to me and he was like, I'm not even joking, this might be better than Nosferatu. Which was honestly warranted. They're very different, so
it wasn't better. I would
compare them.
It wasn't.
But it, like, for a kid's film... Sorry, I had hair on my face. Where was I? For a kid's film, seriously impressive. Like, seriously,
it was
seriously impressive.
This is a movie that you can take your nan to, and she'll go, "Oh, I really like that movie." But you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that because I think Paddington Bear is actually one of my nan's favorite movies. So.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe you should take her to this.
Maybe.
Yeah. Look. Obviously, jumping into like casting and stuff, Ben Whishaw's incredible. Is just like perfect. Like, you know what I mean? He is. You can't kind of hear his voice without thinking of Paddington. You can't see Paddington without thinking of his voice. It just really suits it.
Yeah,
it's a voice that really suits Paddington.
Yeah, it was his performance was terrific. I mean,
for a voice acting of a bear, seriously emotional like journey that this guy goes on. Like, seriously.
Yeah, I turned over to you and you were crying at one point.
The ending. Anyway,
he's crying right now.
It's so emotional. Yeah, look, the first thing I want to say is that I said to Dylan at one point, wow, the animation's really good.
The CGI was so good for a Paddington Bear movie. Oh my god.
The amount of bears in this movie is immense. And they all are so detailed, they're all unique, they all just... Oh, it's... Like, can I be honest? Paddington in Peru had no right to be as good as it was.
That's what I'm saying. No, there is minor spoilers for Paddington 3.
Yeah.
But...
Spoilers for Paddington in Peru.
Because at the end, when all of his bear friends, his family, his clan, they came to his house and they were sliding down the stairwell, the spiral stairwell.
They did do that. That's true.
What? There was so many bears sliding down, and they actually looked like bears. Like, the CGI was in... What?
Yeah. Look, before I jump into our review roundup, and what this is going to say, and is notable. You know, I won't even edge you. I'll jump into the review roundup and we can go from there. But yeah, so as we mentioned before, Paddington Peru is the third movie in the beloved Paddington series, and critics are for the most part really on board with it. But they don't think it reaches the heights that the previous two films have. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's sitting at an impressive 92%, so, you know, clearly most people are still charmed by the marmalade-loving bear, but over on Metacritic, it's got a 60 out of 100, which suggests a bit more mixed reaction from some reviewers. The general consensus is the movie is extremely, extremely, extremely fun and very heartwarming, but it doesn't quite capture the magic that Paddington 1 and Paddington 2 are such standouts from. For instance, Peter Bradshaw at The Guardian gave it 3 out of 5 stars. He called it perfectly enjoyable, but felt it lacked the sharp wit and enchanting charm of the earlier films. And similarly, the BBC praised the film for its wholesome, colourful adventure, but admitted it couldn't match the blissful magic of Paddington 2, which, I'll be honest, is a very tough act to follow. That film is that perfection.
Honestly, yeah. No, the Paddington films are just crazy good.
Look, all that being said, clearly there is still a lot to enjoy. The movie has its fair share of slapstick humour, endearing moments, and lovable characters. I mean, the Financial Times said it keeps the series charm alive, but noted it feels a bit more like your average family adventure this time around. It's less of a groundbreaking delight and more of a fun, safe continuation. So, while Paddington in Peru might not knock your socks off the way Paddington 2 most definitely did, it's still a sweet, feel-good film that's worth watching, especially if you fall in love with the bear and his adventures. And I mean, hey, a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, I think Paddington still got it. So
yeah, 100%. You know what I'm saying? Now, what were your thoughts on the film?
Yeah, look, overall, I thought it was great. I thought it very clearly was great, and it had a lot more positives than negatives. I'd recommend it to anybody, to be honest. There's not really somebody, like, it's just something nice to go see.
Yeah, well, the Paddington movies have always just been something that, no matter how you're feeling, you can just turn it on and you'll enjoy it. I mean, it's fun for all ages. I could show a 70-year-old grumpy grandpa this, and he'd be like, oh, Paddington.
I think Paddington has a really great rewatchability.
It does, 100%.
Like, I think I could go see this film right now, and I'd be like, oh, what a joy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think, where then something like Nosferatu, I can't go see for another week, you know what I mean? Same with Longlegs, I couldn't see it for a week before I went back. Like, I think that it really has, which is extremely impressive, to be able to have that rewatchability is not something a lot of films have nowadays.
Yeah.
So I think it is very nice that it does have that. And voice acting's great. The story is good enough. It kind of, you know, there's some hitches, there's some things it's a bit like, I don't really love how you're tackling that, but like it's, you know, good enough. Like, an example, obviously, spoiler, as we said before, we obviously figure out that the main nun is evil. Like, we know that. They make it very clear. So then when it's like, oh, she's actually a good guy, it's like, oh, awesome. That's a brilliant change that I genuinely didn't expect. Oh, no, she's actually evil again. Like, you know what I mean? I think it worked, but I think they set up the expectation that she's evil, they killed it, and then they
brought it back.
Which is wonderful, but for a kid's film, calm down.
Yeah. I really, really liked Hugh Bonneville's performance as Mr. Brown. I think he was a highlight. He's always a highlight in these movies. But I think something that's really hard to get consistently right is having comedy that constantly hits over and over and over again. And that's what's so impressive about the Paddington movie, especially Paddington Peru. I don't think there was one dull joke in the entire movie.
Yeah.
Which, crazy, because it's really hard to do that. Like, it's hard to write joke after joke after joke and then hit after hit after hit. And I'm not one for ha 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 in the movies, laughing out loud, but I nearly did. I didn't actually laugh out loud, but I nearly did. I was chuckling to myself the whole time. I was like, thanks, Paddington.
It's a good chuckle film.
It's a good chuckle film.
You're chuckling. You are chuckling if you see Paddington.
That's what I'm saying. But if you're going into Paddington 3, Paddington Peru, expecting...
Yeah, please call it its
actual thing.
Its proper name.
Yeah, Paddington Peru. If you're going into it thinking, oh my god, I'm expecting a stellar story. You're going to be disappointed. Paddington 3, I think the story's good for a children's movie, and I think it's a very, very enjoyable film. But the plot is very, very similar to the prior two movies. I think, well, just like the general like story from plot A to plot B to plot C to like going through this storyline. It's got the same structure as all the other movies.
Something that's really nice, I think, that this film does, which is obviously the beginning of the first film. We have Paddington who leaves Peru and comes to London. The entirety of the second film, he's in London, and then this film, obviously, he's leaving London and going to Peru. And so I think it's a really nice
circle of,
the circle of life, like in Mufasa the Lion King, 2024's number one film.
We will be going to see after
no review
this,
because it's going to be horrible. Anyway, but yeah, so look, it's really nice. It's a really nice film, which I recommend without a doubt. I think it's one of those. It's one of the movies where it's just like, just see it just because. You can get a ticket for like $10.
Yeah, it's money's worth.
You just have a good time. You know what I mean? Go. This is your sign to take your parents to the cinema. Get your mum and go see Paddington in Peru. Like, you know what I mean? Oh my god, you're a moody teenager, whatever. Get your mum and go see Paddington because it's just really nice. It's the holidays. Like, we saw it on New Year's Day. It was just a really good. It was the first movie we saw in 2025, and it was great.
It was.
And
amazing.
I would not have wanted to start my 2025 any other way.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Look, can I tell you something? Can I give you maybe a little factoid?
A little story? Be my guest, please.
So it's not as much as a story, but something interesting to note is that this film, Paddington in Peru, was directed by somebody different who did not direct the first two movies.
Really?
So Paul King was the director of Paddington 1 and Paddington 2, but not Paddington 3.
Why is that?
That's a wonderful question to ask. And so King actually decided to make the choice to not return as director because, quite simply, he thought it was time to move on. He did think he needed another Paddington movie. But, in saying that, he's still involved with the project. So he was an executive producer on the film, and he helped develop the story, which is why it's just similar Paddington feel. It feels like a Paddington story because it is, but also because the director of the first two and story came onto it. So he was actually making a very good movie, 2023, Wonka.
Oh,
was it 2024?
No, that was the end of 2023, December.
So yeah, Paul King did the first two, Dougal Wilson did this one, and I think it has a very similar feel. I think it's clear that King was still involved in the project.
Yeah, that was evident. I feel like if he wasn't, it would have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
this is a little mini movie review today. Just a little bite-sized one, just to make your day a little bit brighter.
Not a review, it's just a kind of debrief, I guess. Yeah, so Paddington in Peru. If you had to give it a score out of 10, what do you give in Paddington in Peru? Noting that an 8 would be 4 stars, a 6 would be 3 stars, etc., etc.
Okay. I think it's good for what it is. I don't think it's groundbreaking, but I think it's a nice short, like we said before, a nice short little thing that can get you through your day. I think I'd give it a solid 7.5.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah, I'll rock with an 8. I think a 4 stars are very good.
4 stars is quite good.
Good spot for it.
Yeah.
So, look, that is our take, our quick little debrief, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that's our real talk on Paddington in Peru.
Paddington, but he's in Peru.
What a zany twist!
Who would have guessed?
Yeah,
who would have guessed that? Anyway, thank you very much for watching this episode of Real Talk with Dylan Lambert and Sebs me, and we cannot wait to see you in the next one.